There is a version of Christianity being preached right now that sounds good, feels good, and will cost you absolutely nothing. And that is exactly why it will take you nowhere. Somewhere along the way, the church stopped talking about a cross and started talking about a plan, a 5-step strategy for your breakthrough, a formula for your favor, and millions of people are sitting in pews or watching on screens, nodding along, while quietly wondering why their faith feels hollow, why God feels distant, why the life they were promised hasn't arrived yet. Here is what nobody is telling them. You cannot walk into resurrection while you are still protecting the life that needs to die. The cross is not a symbol you wear around your neck. It is a decision you make every single morning before the world ever gets a chance to make it for you. And if you have been following Jesus for months or years and nothing in your life has ever genuinely cost you anything, this message is not an attack. It is an invitation, because there is something waiting for you on the other side of surrender that comfort will never give you. Let's talk about what carrying your cross actually looks like when you wake up on an ordinary Wednesday first. It means choosing the harder, truer thing when the easier lie is right in front of you. There is a moment, and you know this moment, where you can see 2 paths clearly. One costs you something, one costs you nothing, and the one that costs nothing is always dressed up to look reasonable. You could avoid the conversation. You could soften the truth just enough that nobody gets uncomfortable. You could say yes to the thing your spirit already said no to. That fork in the road, that is where your cross is. Deuteronomy 30:19 says this, I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore choose life. God didn't say he would make the choice obvious. He said he put it in front of you. The cross is what you pick up when you stop waiting for obedience to feel convenient and you just obey. Every single day you will stand at that fork. And every single day, what you reach for is either building your life or slowly dismantling it. It will not always feel significant. It rarely does in the moment, but it always is. Second, it means letting the version of you that needs to be seen slowly die. This one is quiet. This one is internal. And this one might be the heaviest thing you carry. There is a self inside each of us that was built by wounds, by performance, by the need to prove something to someone who may not even be watching anymore. That self craves validation the way the body craves water. It shapes what we say yes to, what we post, who we become in a room full of people who matter to us. Carrying your cross means that self has to go to the cross and not come back. Colossians 3:3 says it plainly. For you have died, and your life is now hidden with Christ in God. Hidden. Not promoted, not performed. Hidden. The person God is making you into does not need an audience to be real. But here is the tension. Nothing in our world right now is designed to support that kind of hiddenness. Everything rewards visibility, reaction, reach. So choosing hiddenness, choosing to do the right thing without documentation, choosing to serve without a mention, that is not passivity. That is warfare. That is the cross in the digital age. Third, it means remaining faithful inside the waiting that is quietly breaking you. I want to be careful here, because this point is for someone specific. You have been praying about the same thing for a long time. You have been faithful. You have done the work. You have not walked away, and the silence has started to feel less like peace and more like abandonment. This is where a lot of Christians quietly quit. Not dramatically, not in one moment, but in small daily withdrawals. A little less prayer, a little more cynicism, a little more distance. Carrying your cross in a season of waiting means you refuse to let the silence become bitterness. Isaiah 40:31. Those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. The word translated wait in that verse doesn't mean sit passively. It means to bind yourself to be intertwined with. Waiting on God is not checking a clock. It is keeping yourself tethered to Him while the clock seems to have stopped. Your faithfulness in the waiting is not wasted. It is weight-bearing. God is building something in you that only comes through endurance, and that building requires time you did not budget for. Stay. Fourth, it means extending grace to people who have given you every reason not to. This is the one that separates a theology of the cross from a performance of it, because you can talk about carrying your cross all day. You can understand the doctrine, know the scriptures, have the language. But then there is that person, the one who said the thing that changed how you see yourself, the one who left when you needed them most, the one who is still in your life, still difficult, still costing you something every time you interact with them. And grace, real grace, cross-shaped grace, says you love them anyway. Matthew 5:44. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. That verse has never been comfortable. It was not designed to be, because it is not asking you to feel something you do not feel. It is asking you to choose something your feelings are actively resisting. The cross was not convenient for Jesus. It was not efficient. It was not something he did because it came naturally. It was the choice he made, at the highest possible cost, for people who were standing there watching him bleed and feeling nothing about it. Extending grace to difficult people is not excusing what they did. It is refusing to let what they did become the thing that makes you smaller. It is picking up the cross and walking forward anyway. 5th, it means releasing your grip on the story you planned and trusting the one being written. Here is something nobody says often enough. The cross of Jesus did not look like victory while it was happening. It looked like the worst possible ending to a story that had started with so much promise. The disciples were not sitting there thinking, "This is going somewhere good." They were scattered, confused, grieving. And 3 days later, everything changed. Your story is not over, but you may be standing right now in the part that looks like an ending. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for calamity, to give you a future and a hope. That verse was written to people in exile, people who had lost everything familiar, people who were not where they thought they would be. And God said, I know the plans, not you, me. Carrying your cross in this area means releasing the white-knuckled grip on your own timeline. It means saying out loud, God, I do not understand what is happening, and I am choosing to trust you in the middle of not understanding. That surrender is not passive. It is the most active faith you will ever practice. So here is how you start, today, practically, before your phone, before the noise, before the day makes its demands. You open your hands. Literally or metaphorically, it does not matter. You open your hands to God and you say, here is what I was planning to protect today. Here is what I was planning to control. Here is the person I have not forgiven. Here is the waiting I have been white-knuckling. I am choosing you over all of it. That is it. That is the cross before breakfast. Not a formula. Not a performance. Just a human being choosing God's way before choosing their own. And then you do it again tomorrow. And the day after that. And the day after that. Because this is not a one-time altar call. This is a daily posture. A daily death. A daily direction. The cross of Christ was not the worst moment in history. It was the turning point of it. And when you choose daily to carry yours, you are not signing up for suffering without meaning. You are signing up for a life that actually goes somewhere. A life that does not end at your comfort zone. A life that, on the other side of every surrender, keeps revealing something truer, deeper, and more alive than the life you were protecting before. If you have read this far, and something in your chest shifted, do not ignore that. That is not coincidence. Drop this in the comments right now. Lord, not my agenda, yours. Let that be your declaration today. And if this message found you at the right moment, subscribe to Gospel Grotto. Because everything built here is built on one foundation, the Word of God. Nothing added, nothing taken away.